never smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some disease. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to rhyme. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome guys, Miss Liz in the house. We had a little bit of technical issues, but we got it all fixed out. So we got Ramiro Moreno in the house, and we're going to talk about the DWD2 Clean Air today. And we're going to talk about his tea, and his tea is Trust Effective Awareness. That is the tea we are talking about today. But before we get started, you guys know how Miss Liz rolls. Get over to all those platforms: Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram. Give those like and follow and subscribe. And if you find a guest around those platforms, give them a like, follow, and subscribe, because that's how we help each other, by supporting one another. Also, jump over to the podcast apps: Podbean, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, Deezer, Apple Radio, Spotify, all those good platforms, and get these tea times out there, because they do make a difference for the guests and for listening audience that do resonate with the topics. Let's get over to disclaimer and then a beautiful intro, and then we're gonna get Ramiro in here, and we're gonna talk some clean air today with all of you guys and have some fun. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time show. Miss Liz's Tea Time is a global platform dedicating to sharing real life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. I'm Miss Liz is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to display your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all content brought forward during any Tea Time show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Tea Time platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guests, viewers, and participants are responsible for using their own good judgment when considering any action or decision that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners' and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Tea Time with Miss Liz is an open discussion forum designed to offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have any questions regarding this disclaimer or the content of this discussion, you are welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly at my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com, or visit my link tree, Miss Liz's Tea Time. By choosing to participate in, comment on, or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. I, Miss Liz, welcomes you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect your wishes and decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Tea Time with Miss Liz is serving truth and awareness one cup at a time. Well, welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz, where every conversation reminds us that meaningful change often begins by looking closely at the environment we live, work, and travel and breathe in every day. Today, we are honored to welcome Ramiro Moreno, founder of DWD2 Clean Air, an innovator focused on helping people create healthier spaces through non-toxic plant-based solutions for mold, odor, and air contamination. Ramiro works is built around a simple but powerful ideal. Do not just mask the problem, address it at the source. Through DWD2 Clean Air, Ramiro helps families, businesses, and communities better understand what may be affecting the air around them and how cleaner environments can support healthier living. His mission combines education, innovation, and practical solutions, encouraging people to become more aware of what may be hiding in vehicles, homes, workplaces, and every other day spaces. Today, we'll explore the inspiration behind the DWD2 Clean Air, why mold, odor, and air contamination deserves greater attention, the difference between masking a problem and treating the source, non-toxic plant-based approaches to cleaner environments, educating consumers to make healthier choices, and how cleaner spaces can continue to support stronger communities. Ramiro reminds us that some of the biggest changes is wellness begins with the things we cannot always see, So grab your favorite cup and join us for an educational conversation filled with innovation, awareness, healthier environments, and real life tea, truth, experience, and awareness. And let me get him in here and let's spill some tea. Welcome, Ramiro.
Thank you.
It is an honor to have you here today on Teatime.
Thank you.
So, Ramiro, tell us a little bit about who you were as a little guy and who you are now, so we can get to know who you were as a little guy and how you got into this field.
Okay. The way it was back when I was in my younger years, I was actually selling cars. And so as a good car salesman, if you get a call from a prospective buyer that wants to look at a particular vehicle, you want to make sure you go out there and check that the vehicle is good running condition, that it starts, and so on and so forth. That's what happened. I had a customer call me and wanted to look at this Cadillac. And so I did go out there and start the car. And when I started it, the ventilation system produced that air that was a blast of foul smelling air. This is that experience that I had. And at that time, as a young salesman, I didn't know why the vehicle was smelling so bad through the vents.
So Ramiro, tell us a little bit about what DWD2 Clean Air is.
Well, I started this company back in 29 years ago. Because of this experience that I had as a young car salesman, I knew that the problem in vehicles was a contaminated evaporator. So you have the blower fan that blows the air through the evaporator fins, and this is how you get cold air. Well, what happens in the ventilation system, because of the wetness in there with live organisms coming through, they could be tiny live organisms coupled with a wet environment produces mold, bacteria, and odors. So 29 years ago, because I knew about this problem, I was introduced to a product from Japan. It's a foam cleaner that can be, you'd have to drill a hole, then you would put a tube in there so that it would go, that you could push this foam between the blower fan and the evaporator. So once that foam expands between the blower fan and the evaporator, the fan will force the foam through the evaporator fins. And that was the way we were able to clean that. It was a technology that came from Japan. And that's how I started the company, from that product.
So Ramiro, you've been in this company for 29 years. What have you seen change over those 29 years?
Well, of course, we've improved the technology, and we've added mold killer into our product. It's a plant-based product. It's mild. It doesn't harm you as you breathe in the air. However, in the evaporator, you do have this contamination in there. Well, this actually will kill the mold, and also it will remain working, meaning resisting any type of mold growth for a period of time. It could be a month, 2 months, 3 months, but it lasts because it continues working.
Well, we have a question here for you. And I'm curious already, what was the moment that made Ramiro start asking why about air quality?
Well, it was that particular time, as that was in the early 70s. That experience, smelling that odor coming from the evaporator, and I didn't know what it was, but of course I found out it's the contamination because of live organisms in a wet environment. And that's how. Am I answering the question?
Yeah, you did. You did good.
Okay.
So you move from cars into homes. So what causes the contamination in the homes? The mold to start in homes?
The same. It's moisture. Moisture with live organisms. So it can happen anywhere. It could be your back porch, for example, where rain seeps through somehow in your back porch, for example. It's that moisture in the air. And since you don't have, unless you have a good airflow coming through where even outside air would dry up a wet environment. So if you don't have that, you're going to soon be that area is going to be contaminated because of live organisms and wet environment. So you have to keep your area dry. And if it's not dry, and if you don't dry it, this is going to happen. It's for sure it's going to happen.
So Ramiro, I've got a question. Do air conditioners cause dampness and moisture in the house?
Would you repeat that question?
Do air conditioners cause moisture in the house? Because you're breathing the cold air, the hot air, the warm air. Does that cause moisture?
Yes, it does. There is moisture. You have to have a good ventilation going through the house. Of course, many people will close the windows, close doors, and so on and so forth. There's got to be airflow that will actually be able to recirculate. So you don't want everything to be totally tight, especially if you have an air conditioner where it's wet and it's going to stay wet, but I don't know if I'm making any sense, but you have to have a path where you have air flowing through so that this doesn't create this mold and mildew and bacteria. Again, because any live organism, whether it be a little bug or something like that, it's still going to cause mold.
I've always wondered about that because when you remove an air conditioner, there's usually that black mold that's underneath, right? Because of the drips of the water and if it's not angled the right way. So does that get into the walls like that? Does that get into the windows? Like,
oh yeah, drywall. You get into the drywall, it seeps in there, and then you see that the drywall will expand. You know that there's water that's been going through the drywall.
Well, we have a question here from Fine Golf. Why do you think people often accept air quality problems without questioning what's causing them?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because, we really don't know. We're not experienced in things like that. So that's true. We don't question. And I think, well, that is a good question because we don't. I only know because of my experience, and then was able to get into this technology of cleaning evaporators, where the condensation in the evaporators.
Yeah, I think it's a good question because we don't question a lot of things. We just accept it, right? We just take it for what it is. This is the air, this is what we breathe, and we're good.
And this is the way it is. That's what we do. So we just go through it and not do anything about it.
Right? Well, we have a question here for you. And it is, what was the first problem you noticed that eventually led to creating the DWD2 Clean Air? And how did you get the name?
Oh, I like that question. I used to, my young daughter, would look at this cartoon character, and the name of the character was DW.
Oh,
And I can't even think of what show that was, but every morning she would listen to that, and the brother of the little girl would call her DW. And I just love that, you know, is this little young girl is name, he calls her DW. So that's how I got it. And then DWD with the 2 should be the exponent of DWD. So that's how I came up with that name, because of that cartoon character. I liked the sound of it. And so I added the D and the 2 exponent. The reason the exponent, because I wanted it to look like a formula, because it was brand new in the market.
I like that. You see, I always like how names come with businesses, right? Because nobody would have thought it came from a cartoon character.
Right, right.
Well, why is addressing contamination at the source so important? Like, why don't we talk about contamination more in today's world?
Would you say that again?
Why is addressing contamination at the source so important?
Oh, yes. Of course, if you don't, it's going to be too late, you know, then you have a bigger mess. But of course, how do we know? How do we know it's going to happen? We're not experienced, you know, just like I didn't know what was going on with that vehicle when I turned it on and that foul air came. So I think it's just through experience. If you do smell odor, that would be a clue right there. You're smelling odor coming from anywhere, maybe your air conditioner, of course. And so there's something wrong there. That means that there's a live organism in there. It has to be that, otherwise you wouldn't smell anything. Water doesn't smell, so there's something going on in there, so you have to check it out. And of course, if you can't do it yourself, you want to get somebody to look at it, and something's growing in there. That's why you get that smell.
Well, we have another question for you from Matthew, and it's, how did your personal experience influence the way you approach environmental and health related problems?
You know, it is my personal experience. So I understand it. And the only thing is, the question is, you know, no matter what, we are not going to know, only because I've been through this for many, many, many years. So I understand, but I don't know that we can educate everybody about a particular problem. It would be good that there would be some kind of maybe on TV, something where people can learn about certain things about, especially air conditioners, wet environments, and things like that. That is a good question, but how do we know that there is a problem? So, because just because you smell something, well, of course, there is a problem when you smell something.
It's when you don't smell something that you should be really concerned.
I really don't know how to answer that question, except that it just sometimes it's just experience that. I don't know.
So, Ramiro, let's talk about the different smells and odors. Let's talk about some of the different molds. Do you know how many different types of molds there are out there? Or?
Oh, Aspergillus, Penicillium. Those are there's that type of mold is everywhere where there's wetness. Let's see, Cladosporium is another one. There's a group of molds like the ones that I have mentioned. They're always there, especially in these environments. They're always there. There's about, I think about 5 to 7 mold types that are in water with live organisms.
So, Ramiro, is all mold created by wetness?
That's how mold grows, a wet environment and a live organism. It could be part of a bug, part of anything that's live, that's decaying.
So in your personal experience, have you experienced any mold in any environments that you've worked in?
Mold is everywhere. It's everywhere. Again, it's in moist areas. And again, it's because of, it could be a cat living inside or in that particular area. It's everywhere.
So can you tell us a little bit about the products, because they're plant-based? So what's the difference between the chemical products and the plant-based products?
Well, just that. There's no chemicals. It's plant-based. You don't have any kind of chemicals. So it's not going to be harmful to you. The only harm that, like for example, we have a fogger that is plant-based. The only thing that might hurt somebody would be the propellant. It's the gas that forces the can to fog to create this fine mist. So, and that's really harmless after it dispels you. Other than that, there's nothing to worry about with our product because it's plant-based. There's no chemicals, but it's very effective.
So Ramiro, you want to tell us a little bit about the products that you have?
Say that again?
Do you want to share a little bit about the products that you have that people can get a hold of? And
yeah, we have products in different sizes. For example, we have the 1.5 ounce spray, which is a mold killer, but it's a spray. You can spray that into the intake of your automobile and let it circulate through there, and it will kill the mold. And it's only, 1.5 ounce, and you spray it. We also have it in a fogger, a 4 ounce fogger, and a spray. To give you an example, this is like this is a 1.5 ounce spray. Okay, this is a mold killer. You can use it, like I said, you spray. But then there's the fogger, which we have the fogger in a 4 ounce can. Now this particular one is a odor removal, but it also has the plant-based product in it. And we call it Super Plus. Then we have an 8 ounce spray and fogger. This will treat like a 20 by 20 room. We also have it in a 14 ounce. It's a bigger can. Let's see. We also have it in a pump spray. A pump spray, which is you can just spray it the same way as by hand. So of course this is cost less than this because this is aerosolized. And so, but they're the same product. You can spray it on your countertops, anywhere, your restroom, toilets, and spray it and just wipe off, or you don't even have to wipe it off because it will continue working, especially if it's just sitting there. As long as it's not really wet, it's a mist, so you just let it sit there and it will continue working long after application.
So do you spray it directly onto the area, or do you spray it in the room? Like, is it good for cars, homes, offices?
Yes. Like if, for example, if you want to treat your living room, then you need about at least an 8 ounce. You close all the windows and doors, and then it's a lockdown fogger. So you lock down this actuator, you lock it down and leave the room and close the windows, doors, and let it seep through the walls, and it covers the whole house, the whole room. And that right there will kill the mold and bacteria in that place. And again, it will last a period of time. Now look, I can't tell you that it's going to last 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, because of different environments, different, the way people going in and out, it's not going to last that long. But if you have an area that you fogged and you keep it tight and there's not too much doors opening, going back and forth, it will last a long time. And it continues working, like I said, it adheres to the walls, and it will stay that way doing its work for a period of time.
So you push the fogger and you run.
Yes. And you make sure that the doors closed, windows are closed. And also after you fog the room, you want to let it sit fogged. So you don't go in. You want to wait until the whole, at least an hour, 2 hours would be better. In a car, you would use a 4 ounce fogger, and you would close the windows and doors, fog the car, let it stay closed, all the windows closed for at least an hour, 2 hours, and then you open the car, let it air out, and very effective. That's going to keep mold from growing for a while.
We got some more questions that are coming in. The next question I have for you is from Michael, and it's how important was persistence when you were developing DWD2 Clean Air and trying to introduce a different approach?
Well, I had to learn a lot. So what I did, I actually got a ventilation system and created one with, went to the auto dump, a car, where you sell parts and things like that. I took a ventilation system, the evaporator, the blower fan, and I made a little copy of it to where I can experience how it's actually working. In fact, the evaporator of, where you have these parts for cars, anyway, they're used. So I had the fan and the evaporator. It looks like an air conditioner, evaporator fins. And so what I did is I did that model, turned on the fan, and then went in front of the air conditioner, like in a car. And that blast of air made me sick. And now this comes from a junkyard. And so I was putting this system together in order for me to test it. And also to see how the foam would go and to where the fan would blow the foam through the evaporator fins, and it was very effective. That's how I knew I had a product that really works. And so once that foam dissolves, it will go down the evaporator drain. And it's very effective. After that, you turn the system on, the fan will blow the foam, any excess foam, to clean out the rest of that, the evaporator. Very effective. It works really good as long as you know how to install it.
Well, we have another question here from Russ, and it's how did you build trust with customers when introducing a solution that takes a different approach from traditional products?
How did I build trust with customers? I think one thing about the way I feel about a business or a product, I don't want to sell anything that doesn't work. So yes, it took trial and error, and I had to make sure that it worked. I don't want to sell anything to anybody. If it doesn't work, I don't want nobody to be spending their money for something that is not going to help them, that it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. I pride myself in things like that. I can't tell you I have always been that way. But you get older and you realize, you don't want to cheat human beings. You want to help human beings. You want to do things right for them. And so it's not that I'm a great guy. It's just that I know that I want somebody to treat me or sell me something that really works.
Well, yeah, I often say, if I'm not going to buy it, I'm not going to sell it.
Yeah.
Right, because we don't want to sell something we wouldn't buy, or we wouldn't want to give service that we wouldn't use, That kind of builds a trust with our customers and clients, and that when we say, if we don't buy it, don't buy it,
Right. If it's not good, I don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
So if it's not good, I don't want to buy it. But our products all work if you use them the way you're supposed to, with the directions I'm talking about.
So, Ramiro, why do you think we don't talk about air quality in homes? Like, why is that not put into schools or businesses and offices? Why don't we have this conversation about air quality?
Ignorance. We really don't know. We can walk in the classroom and it smells good because maybe, especially when somebody walks in and they smell good, and so it's in the air, for example. I don't think I myself, speaking of classrooms, I went to Illinois. My wife's niece is a teacher, and she showed us around in her classroom, and I walked in there, and it's very pleasant. And I know that it has not been treated with any kind of products, but it didn't smell bad. It was normal. So how do we know?
Yeah.
How do we know that there's something well, not only that, I don't have the best olfactory system. You know, you get older, you can't smell that good. But so I can only tell you what I experienced. And that room, it's very clean, very beautiful, the way she had it. But I didn't smell anything. So everything feels normal. And I think this is what's happening everywhere. Unless it's totally foul, then you know there's problems. But I don't know.
But shouldn't we be concerned with no smell, with no odors? Maybe there's a hidden mold that's hiding, that's not bringing a scent?
I think so. I think, especially where, young children are, yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, thinking about it, that question, I think that room should be fogged at least once a month.
Well, like schools and that, right? We don't clean the air of the classrooms. We just open the schools up every year and bring the students in. But we bring in those air conditioners. We bring in the humidifiers. We bring in the dampness from the wet clothes that are coming into classrooms and stuff like that. So why are we not fogging the classrooms? Why are we not fogging the offices? Is that something that you look forward to doing with your business?
No, I haven't thought about that, but the truth is that when you do something over and over, you come into the room and it's the same as it was yesterday and the day before, and so on and so forth. So it's like you're not aware of anything because you become accustomed to where you are. Unless there was a flood or something, then you're going to smell that nasty smell after standing water is in a room. So we don't know.
So is there one area where it really surprised you over the 29 years that your product made a difference?
Say again?
Was there one area, like an office, a community event, or something that really the customer came out and said, thank you for your product because it really made an impact in our home?
Wow. There is. There is customers that have told me that, unfortunately, I can't tell you because I'm actually, as I'm getting older, I'm actually forgetting things. But I have had customers tell me, but I can't pinpoint exactly what it was. But I've had, especially customers that have issues with their lungs, breathing. Those are the ones that are very appreciative, and so to them, this is great news. So, but yes, I've had a few like that telling me thank you.
So, Ramiro, where is your product used the most? In cars, homes, offices? Where is it used the most?
All the above. Cars, homes, yes. Any living environment, offices and things like that. Everybody needs it. We all need it. Again, we don't know that there is a problem. And unless that problem is, well, you can really, it's obvious, there's something wrong in here. But unfortunately, I don't even know if when I walk in a place, especially because, like I said, the olfactory system doesn't work as it used to.
You know, that's just wisdom. That just makes us pause more. That's all that is.
Yeah.
So with your products, which one is your favorite out of all of them?
The I love the fogger and the spray. These are the best. The plant-based product. I also have other products that are not plant-based because they're odor killers. They're reodorizing. Some of these products, they take an odor and exchange it for a pleasant odor. That's what a reodorizing means. But the best is the mold killer, the plant-based mold killer. The good about it is that it's non-toxic, biodegradable. It doesn't harm the environment or anything or people, except you got to be careful with the propellant. If somebody, but it's not even anything to worry about. The propellant, you can't even tell. It's this product that we sell a lot of, and I also have it for an evaporator cleaner. It's a foam cleaner, but what it is, it's all plant-based mold killer in a foam. And so that one right there, instead of what I used to have, which was a chemical product, I don't know if I answered the question, but this is the best, the plant-based evaporator cleaner, and also the fogging and spray.
So Ramiro, you said you had chemicals before and you went to the plant-based. So was that during research process that you seen the difference?
Yeah, you see, what it is that like the foam cleaner is the surfactant in the formula. It's the surfactant that does the cleaning. It's surfactant is something you use to clean whatever in your kitchen or whatever. But that surfactant is a chemical.
So is there a scent with the DW?
Yes, you can put a scent on it, but not on. I don't use a scent on the mold killers. They're the only scent that you're going to smell would be the propellant.
So is it like a lemon smell, lime smell? Is there like a fragrance that comes from the sprays or?
No, the only kind of smell is going to be like, well, like the propellant. You're going to smell that. There is a slight odor on the mold killer product, but it's really mild, and it's not going to hurt you or anything like that. Again, it's only the propellant that might overwhelm you. It depends too, if you're very sensitive.
Yeah. Because, a lot of people like to buy for smells, right? Like for lemon smells or orange smells or stuff like that. So do any of the products have any of those scents or it's odorless?
It's clean. It's a clean smell. It's like a clean smell, but there is a smell, but it's a pleasant smell.
Do you have any car fresheners?
Yes. It's like for example, this is AC Fresh.
Okay.
There is a slight odor to it, but it's clean. It's a clean odor.
So let's talk a little bit about the logo. How did you make the logo? To pick the colors. Why did you go with those colors?
This, like Clean Air.
Yeah.
Actually, my son created this. Well, with help with a friend, he did a friend of mine who is deceased. We're really close, but he used to help me, and he's the one that came up with the way air is. See how the way air is?
Yeah.
And the rest, I just put DWD2 on the top, and then Clean Air, and that's how we did it. Then we put that.
So Ramiro, do you have a mascot for your business?
Pardon me?
Do you have a mascot?
A mascot?
A mascot for DWD2?
Would you spell it? What you're saying? What is?
Like a mascot, like a
Oh, mascot.
yeah. Do you have one for your business?
No.
Did you ever think of getting one? Because you said it came from a cartoon character. So would you bring in DW? Like,
Oh yeah. No. No, I can't say I have a mascot. No.
would that be something you'd look into getting? It would draw in the children, because the children would come and see the mascot, and parents then could come and get the product.
Yeah, that might work. I kind of starting to back off, because my youngest son from my previous marriage, Jonathan, he's actually really sharp. He's kind of like taken over, and he might want to do different things. You got to take the new generation to come and build on whatever I've done. But,
Well, he's gonna listen to this tea time, and he's gonna say, "Oh, that Miss Liz, she gave me an idea. We're gonna do a mascot."
there you go. I'll let him know.
So, in the 29 years of having this business, what have you learned about yourself running the business?
You have to dot your I's and cross your T's. Especially when you're first starting, you think you're all that because you have something, and that people need it. And so you're not thinking right, you really have to look at different things. But of course, you don't know when you're younger, or it's something that's great, and you just don't know. The truth is, and I think it's important, I think God has it that way with us, that he lets you go through hard knocks, because I think that's what develops character, develops, it just helps you to experience things that you don't want to do anymore. So again, you need to dot your I's and cross your T's. And like I said, I think God has it that way, where we're going to stumble and fall, and then we get up. And now we know that this road that I'm taking, I don't want to take that road anymore, because it's not doing me any good. On the other hand, you can stumble and fall, but the road is still good, and you know that you're learning. So dotting your I's and cross your T's, I think that's good advice for young people. And also, the other thing is, sometimes we beat up ourselves because we think that I'm never going to make it. This is not going to happen for me, and so on and so forth. But, and that's normal for us to be that way. And the way I believe is, well, of course, don't get me wrong. It's not like I did it all right. I didn't. But I know that you have to give yourself grace. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Try and try again and don't give up. It'll happen. I think God gave each one of us a gift. And that gift belongs to that person. And that person just has to find out what it is and nurture it.
So, Ramiro, do you see the legacy of DW being run by your children, your grandchildren for many, many more generations?
Do I see it continuing on, basically? Yes, I do. I do. Like my son, who's going to be running the show, he's learned a lot, and I think that I'm glad that I'm still here, that I'm able to continue on that way, because I think he'll do it the right way. He's a good person, and he's a go-getter. And I don't know. Did I answer the question? What was the question again?
No, you did good. You did good.
That's what happens when you get older. You're going to start forgetting,
Well, let's have some fun questions before we wrap up. If you could pick home or a road trip, which one would you pick?
Say again?
Home or a road trip? Would you prefer to stay home or would you prefer to travel the road?
Wow, good question. I don't like home. I don't think it's good, to be a homebody. You need to get out. You need to touch lives. So no, home is not good.
So you're the road trip boy.
My wife helped me with that too.
Coffee or tea?
Pardon me?
Coffee or tea? Which one do you prefer?
Coffee or tea?
Yeah. Which one do you prefer?
Coffee.
A special kind of coffee or just plain black coffee?
Plain black coffee. Not strong. Regular plain coffee.
Golf or basketball?
Golf.
Why golf? Why golf?
I love golfing. I'm not a good golfer, but I'm learning. I've been golfing for a long time, and usually sometimes it goes straight, sometimes it goes to the left, sometimes to the right.
Well, it's like a business, right? Sometimes it goes right, sometimes it goes left.
Yeah. Again, that's how we learn. We keep making mistakes, and then we do better. I'm a better golfer than I was 20 years ago. Still not that good, but I'm better.
One word that defines leadership for you.
What one word
that defines leadership for you?
I would say love.
Oh.
Yeah. You got to love people. I think you can't, when you're running a company, like if somebody's not doing something right, you already know that you were the same way when you were starting off or whatever. We're going to make mistakes. And I think love, you have to love people. And you know what? I wasn't that kind of guy. When I was younger, I didn't like people. But I love people.
So you went from dirty air to clean air to love.
Exactly. I'm glad too.
So what does clean air mean to you besides the product?
Pardon me?
What does clean air mean to you besides the products that you sell?
Yeah, I like that. The clean air. Uh, well, because there is the difference, the opposite of clean air. And, you breathe good. And especially for people who have lung problems and things like that. Um, in fact, there's when I first started the company, there was CBS News or NBC News because it was new in the market, and so a TV station interviewed me, and I said, we deserve clean air. We deserve it.
So what would your final message be for all the listeners tonight?
What was what?
What would your final message be to all my listeners?
My final message to
the listeners that are tuning in, what would the final message be from you and your business? From the dirty air to the clean air to the love, what would your final message be?
I think it's, I would say that love yourself and be careful in how you treat yourself, because just because somebody says something to you, or maybe you made a mistake or something like that, this is all normal, and this is how we grow. As we go through the ups and downs of life. So you have to give yourself grace and love yourself so you can love others. Otherwise, you're always thinking, I wish I could be like him or her, and so on and so forth. That doesn't work.
So what did you think of this interview?
Pardon me?
What did you think of the interview?
I'm glad I had it, because I like your questions. It's all about life and about experiences. And I think something like this, a conversation, can really help not only you with your questions and me with my answers. It opens up something that we all care about.
Yeah.
It's life, love, and just goodness happening to us.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me on Teatime, and I want to thank everybody that joined in the studio. I'm just going to do a quick recap. Don't leave. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to do a quick recap, and we will close up together. What an informative and eye-opening conversation we have shared today. Ramiro, thank you for bringing your knowledge, innovation, and passion for healthier environment to the Teatime table. Today's conversation reminded us that the spaces around us matter. The air inside a home, vehicle, workplace, or community space may not always look unhealthy, yet hidden mold, persistent odors, and other forms of contamination can sign problems that deserve attention. Through DWD2 Clean Air, you encourage people to move beyond temporary fixes and ask a more important question. What is causing the problem in the first place? We explore clean air awareness, source-based solutions, non-toxic approaches, and consumer education, and the importance of helping people make informed decisions about the environments they spend time in every day. One of today's greatest takeaways is this: a healthier environment begins when we stop covering up the warning signs and start understanding what is creating them. Ramiro, your work reminds us that education is just as important as innovation. When people understand that the problem, they become better equipped to make choices that support their homes, families, workplaces, and communities. As we close today's Teatime, I'd like to leave everyone with this thought. How often do we try to cover up a problem when what we really need is the courage and knowledge to address its source? That question reaches far beyond air quality. Sometimes lasting change begins when we stop treating symptoms and start paying attention to causes. Ramiro, thank you for letting people think differently about environmental around them and for bringing cleaner air awareness to the Teatime table. Until next time, continue educating, continue innovating, and continue serving tea. the real life tea of truth, experience, and awareness, one healthier space at a time. And today's takeaway from Miss Liz is cleaner spaces begin with greater awareness. When we understand what we may be affecting our environments and choose solutions that address the source instead of hiding the signs, we create healthier foundations for the people and the communities we care about. And I'll see everybody at 7 p.m. and we'll do this all over again.